Monk could no longer contain his frustration. How could you carry that woman? We are monks, and we have taken a vow of celibacy. It is against our principles to even touch a woman. The first monk, still dripping with the water of the river, turned to his companion with a gentle smile. My friend, the water was cold and the current strong. I saw a person in need and acted to help her. I set her down on the shore when we reached the other side. Yet, you seem to carry her still, even now, gripping your heart with what appears to be anger and confusion. The second monk frowned, crossing his arms tightly over his chest. I am not angry at you. I am angry at the situation. You acted without thinking of our vows, without considering the implications of your actions. How could you put our teachings aside for a moment of kindness? The first monk nodded, appreciating the passion in his friend's words, but maintaining his peaceful demeanor. If it is our beliefs we hold dear, then surely we must hold compassion above mere rituals. The woman was in distress. My act of helping her was guided not by desire but by empathy. They continued walking, the sun setting on the horizon, casting long shadows behind them. As they approached a clearing, they stumbled upon an old sage sitting cross-legged beneath a large tree, his flowing robes blending into the earth and sky, evoking a sense of tranquility. The sage noticed the two monks approaching and spoke, "Welcome, travelers. You seem to carry burdens heavier than your robes. Would you care to share?" The younger monk hesitated, but soon voiced his concerns. I cannot understand how my companion can so easily abandon our vows. Isn't it written that we must avoid attachment to physical forms? The sage looked kindly at the young monk and said, "Tell me, what do your vows teach you? Is it not to practice compassion and kindness toward living beings?" The monk considered this. Yes, it is so. We strive to cultivate compassion. Then why does the act of compassion contradict your vows? The sage asked. The true essence of your teachings is rooted not in physical actions, but in the sincere intention behind them. Are you more concerned with the form or the essence? The younger monk frowned, unable to articulate his thoughts clearly, even as the truth began to seep in. The sage continued, "Look at the river. Each drop flows freely, unburdened by the rocks that try to obstruct it. It adapts, it moves forward, and it nourishes life along its way. Like the river, let your heart flow with compassion, unobstructed by rigid rules and self-judgment." The first monk felt a serene wave wash over him, while the second monk contemplated deeply, wrestling with the emerging understanding. But to help requires a balance. How do we remain true to our path while exhibiting compassion? Balance, the sage replied, is the essence of existence. Let your heart be light, like a feather afloat. Trust your intuition and remain rooted in awareness. What strikes a balance is not a rigid adherence to rules, but a gentle listening to the voice of compassion and understanding of each moment. The younger monk felt a growing sense of clarity. So, I must not only look to the physical manifestation of our teachings, but understand their deeper message? Exactly, said the sage. Your vows were intended to guide you toward enlightenment. Embrace the spirit of these teachings and embody them with an open heart. Sometimes holding on to ideals can lead to the suffering of others. Are you not taught to alleviate suffering? The second monk nodded slowly, a softening in his stance as he grasped a broader understanding of his values. That moment of carrying the woman was not an attachment, but an extension of kindness. You are not a prisoner to your beliefs, the sage concluded. You are free to embody them along with the wisdom of empathy. Remember, even the lotus blooms from the mud. They sat together in silence, the sun eventually sinking behind the mountains. The serene atmosphere allowed the younger monk to reflect on his perceptions, and he began to realize the rigid constraints he had placed upon himself. In his heart, he felt a whisper of liberation. It was not that he had betrayed his vows, but that he could see the greater compassion in living them out. After a while, the sage rose, smiling gently at the two monks. It is time for me to take my leave. As you move forward, carry these lessons in your heart, for they shall guide you on your journey. The path to wisdom is not linear. It is a delicate dance of learning, of unlearning, and of rediscovering. The monks thanked the sage as he walked away. They stood together beneath the vast sky, reflecting on their conversation, the weight of the day's discussions both calming and enlightening. As they resumed their journey side by side, the younger monk spoke softly. I realize now the folly in my previous understanding. I was so fixated on the form of our vows that I forget the essence of compassion. It is not the act alone that defines us, but the intention that fuels it. The first monk smiled warmly. It is in our imperfections that we find wisdom. The path to enlightenment is often paved with misunderstandings and missteps. Do not shy away from your thoughts. Instead, embrace them, sift through them, and allow your heart to lead you to the truth. In the days that followed, the journey continued. They encountered many travelers, each a reflection of their own journeys. The younger monk began to engage with the world around him through acts of kindness, embracing the lessons of compassion. He learned to walk the line between his vows and the spontaneity of life, feeling more enlightened with each passing moment. The first monk remained his anchor, guiding him with the experiences they shared. The weight of past burdens slowly dissolved, replaced by a renewed understanding of the true nature of their journey, one of growth, compassion, and wisdom. Their friendship deepened, forged not only through shared beliefs but through an authentic connection that embraced the full spectrum of the human experience, painting their journey with the colors of understanding and love. As they continued on their path, they would often recall the sage beneath the tree, marveling at how a simple encounter could lead to profound insights. And as they ventured into the unknown, they did so with open hearts, aware that every pebble on the path was an opportunity to learn, grow, and uplift not only themselves but those around them. In life, just as in the river, every current can teach us to move beyond our self-imposed limitations and experience the profound beauty of wholeheartedly embracing the complexity of existence. As you listen to this story, remember that the lessons we glean from weaves of compassion and understanding hold infinite power. Allow your heart to be your guide. Embrace the challenges, allowing each moment to teach you and inspire your journey. For it is through the journey itself that we find ourselves transformed.